Okay, here we are. All right. I'm sorry I didn't get a chance to adjust this a little bit. Let me do that. Okay. All right. Here we are. It's Friday. Yay. Friday. I love Fridays. I don't know why. I just do. Maybe because I get to come on and do this to talk to you all. Right? I love to get on here and kind of just babble a little bit because that's what I do best is babble, right? All right, today we're going to be talking about, as you join me, come on in and say hello. If you're catching this in replay, blah, blah, blah. If you're catching this in replay, please say hello and replay. I love to know that you're catching it and seeing it, and let me know what you think about it. Always looking for opinions, always, right? All right, here we go. Let's get started. We're going to talk about SOPs today. That is a standard operating procedure. Okay. Now, when you're a broker, when you first get your broker license and you're first starting your business, you're probably a broker of one, and then of course you might have some agents that come on board with you pretty quickly because they followed you over from another agency or something, right? So, an independent brokerage is getting up and running. SOPs are really important for an independent brokerage, primarily because your business, over the course of the next 20 or 30 years, however long you plan to be in this industry and own your business, you're going to go through some changes and you're going to grow. So if you're starting from the beginning, that's great. But even if you're growing, it's never not a good time to lay down your SOPs, and sometimes the older I get, I still look at my SOPs, and not necessarily because I need to know where to click and when to click, but there's no checklist. It's a list, but I'm certainly not going to print it every single time I need to complete something. So my first little hack for you is just open up a Google Doc. Okay. Everybody feels like eventually you do want to record it. That's another method of creating your SOPs is recording them. But to begin with, just open up a Google Doc. Name it Standard Operating Procedures. You're going to have one Google Doc that can have all of your standard operating procedures in it. Start with one task. Number one, what's the first thing you do? And then you just go step by step as far as a framework of what needs to be done to complete the task. For example, someone was asking about a listing marketing SOP, and I'll talk about that in a minute. But when you're creating your SOPs, just start with a outline and a list of item by item by item what needs to be done. Not necessarily the click here, click there, click here, just the task itself. Just start with the framework first, okay? And that gives you a script if you've got agents or if you've got a VA or you want to have some kind of a library for a new employee when they're coming on board with you, right? Eventually you would want to get some, you can use Loom, you can use this kind of software. This is called StreamYard. You can get a free version of StreamYard, something that you can record and share your screen and visualize and show your task. Okay. So once you have your Google Doc and you have your task and you have everything laid out as far as the framework of everything that needs to be accomplished for that task, then you're going to take to record, the step-by-step process. That's where the technical stuff could be, right? Because once you learn the technical stuff, you don't really need to watch that video over and over and over again. Okay. So get the technical stuff down on the video portion of your training, right? That's going to be click here, do this, do that, right? That's the step-by-step where you show and record the completion of the task itself, all right, from your framework Google Doc. Okay. Then you've got a library of recordings that you can give to a VA or a new employee or a new agent, whatever your training needs to be. And have a Google Doc attached with the video. Okay. So once they, like I said, once they have the video technical part down, they no longer need to watch that video again. But you don't want them to miss a step in the plan, so they could, if they wanted to, have that Google Doc up and just visually look at it to make sure they're completing all of the tasks. Okay. Now, for example, let's talk about when you're creating a marketing SOP. Let's just say you got a new listing. What's the first thing that you do? This is what you do. Open up your Google Doc. What's the first thing you do? You got a new listing. All right. Some of what I'm going to go through might be a little proprietary, so I'm going to leave that out. But for the most part, it's pretty much all the same thing. You're going to go right on down the list. What have you got to do? First thing you need to ensure is that you get the listing agreement back to the seller executed. Okay. I had an agent make that mistake once. All right. You have to get a fully executed copy back to the seller and mark it the date and time on your delivery. Okay. So that's one thing. Make sure that the seller has gotten all of their documentation back. And then you're executing your plan. Step one, what is the first thing we're doing? I'm prepping a listing right now. So the first thing that we're doing is we are decluttering and we're going to be cleaning. Check. I'm bringing in my housekeeper. Check. I'll have the trash guy trash out everything that's left after we've saled it and free picked it and gotten rid of as much clutter and stuff as we have in the house. This is my scenario. Your scenario will be different, of course. Once we got it cleaned on the market, then I'm going to bring in photographers, or I probably will have to do some repair work on this particular house. And I work that into my commission. So this is some things that I offer as far as value for my consumer. Okay. So this house is going to need some repair work to bring it up to FHA standards. That's the best that we can do for this particular seller. Otherwise it's going to be, left to the cash investor wolves, and you know what kind of offers you get for that. Right. So we try to get it up to at least FHA standards. It does have a new roof on it, so that's half the battle. It might not look pretty, but as long as it's safe, it will go FHA. And that's the best possible solution that we could come to get the highest price for the owner. Even if it's ugly, an FHA buyer will pay, slightly under potential market value, but not as low as a cash investor would. Okay. So that's our strategy. All right. So once that's done, then we're going to check. It's time for photography, right? We get the photographer in there. We get the photos taken. We get the photos edited. We get the photos, and then we're ready to list. So we're, entering the listing into the MLS and uploading the photos. I'm being very generic here. Then what is your marketing repertoire? Okay, that's what you have to decide, is what is your marketing repertoire? What have you got in your bag of tricks to do for marketing? Now, you can absolutely scan a lot of these larger groups, and you can scour those posts for marketing ideas and just start making a list. But what have you got to offer as far as your marketing is concerned, beyond getting your photos and getting it on MLS? Some generic things we can go with right off the top of my head. I'm just going to start spitting some ideas. So one of the things that I like to do is I will create an event on my business page, and I don't call it an open house. I just call it available for preview. Okay, available for previewing, and I put the address. And of course, I'm creating a whole event on my page, and Facebook will let you create this event for a 2-week period. So you can have it open for viewing 9 to 5, Monday through Friday, or Sunday through Sunday for 14 days. Okay. Now what that does for you is it gets put into Facebook's event thread. Okay. And then people scour the event on Facebook. That's how they get connected with events and things that they want to do and what's happening in their community. So I do that. And of course, be sure in this description of the event that you've got your physical contact information in there. Don't assume that it's connected to your business page or anything. Make it easy for the consumer to phone you to preview it if they'd like to. Okay, so that's one thing you can do. Of course, boom, you can put it on Facebook Marketplace as well if you'd want. You check that box off. I have my marketing mechanism that is going to share it into all of my groups and of course all of my my business page and wherever it's going to go on social media, that is going to get crafted and launched. Then I will also, for myself, I will create a Facebook ad. All right, so usually there is an ad running for every active listing until it goes pending. When you are marketing a piece of property, you've got two things. There's two things. Everyone likes to think there's only one thing that stops the property from selling, and that's price. Of course, that's the obvious thing. But what the overlooked thing is the exposure that the house is getting. Now, everyone assumes that because you put it on MLS, that you've got the power of MLS and it's syndicated to all these dozens of sites and it's on Zillow and blah, 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 blah. But you're still not, exposing it on a very micro level, which is what I recommend. Hey, how are you? Let's see what you got here. I'll circle back. Give me 1 second. So I was talking about, I'm so sorry. I was on open houses, right? No, I was on I just put it on as a preview. I understand you don't advertise as an open house. Can you explain? Well, when you create the event, I assume this is what you're talking about, right? When you create the event on your business page, you name it whatever you want to name it. So I name it available to preview. Okay, available to preview, and I put the address there. And it's the event. The event it's open to preview the same period of time that it's available for showing, essentially, right? And so that's an event that I'm creating, that I'm putting out in Facebook's event thread, because Facebook has a totally different thread for events, and that they'll put suggested events in front of people and that kind of thing. You can promote the event, you can share the event. Once it's created, you can just share that out, right? You can post inside the event and have just comments and pictures inside the event pertaining to the property itself. I would share all the photos down into the comments of the event only, and that's where they'd have to come to see those particular pictures. And then of course, when it's the event, you can invite, your friends to the event. You're posting stuff out there on your personal feed for, I assume social proof, or exposure. We're all doing that. We need exposure, right? I was getting to the paid ads. That's what I was doing before, right? I think. All right. So that's what we're doing, is we're looking for the exposure, right? So that's just one avenue that you can capitalize on inside of Facebook, is the events from your business page. Okay. And it's not a particular open house. You are not advertising a, one and done Saturday morning event. You can, in Facebook, if you click on recurring, when you put in the date and time underneath there's a little blue icon there that says recurring. You click on that, and you can literally make that event recurring every day for 14 days. Okay. So you can make that available 9 to 5, Monday through Friday, or Sunday through Saturday, every day, 9 to 5. You're available, whatever day you're available to show that property is what I would put in there, whatever your hours of operation are. Okay. And then, of course, inside the description, make sure that you're putting your contact information. Don't think that it's, a click away. Put all that in the description of the event as well. Okay. So that gives you some great organic exposure. One thing you can check off: create the event. You can create a Craigslist if you wanted to, but Craigslist, right? I just do everything on Facebook, to be honest with you, for myself. Like I said, exposure and price are the two things that are going to affect the marketability of that property and whether it sells or not. Okay. Yes, price is the primary factor, but exposure, like I said earlier, is definitely the second factor. All right. If you can't just depend on just the MLS syndication. Okay. You can't. You want to put that in front of people subliminally where they are looking right on their phone on Facebook. Okay. I just can't even express to you the power of Facebook if you don't understand the power of Facebook, right? Excuse me 1 minute. I mean, think about it. Presidential elections have been won and lost with the power of Facebook. It's subliminal marketing, and that's what you have to understand. Okay. So when you put that listing out there subliminally and you launch a wide net for that, you are getting it some great exposure. You have to be willing to spend the money on marketing the ad instead of doing all of these physical things, that still cost you money, but are so limited on the exposure that you're getting for what you're doing. Okay. All right. For the money you're spending on, I don't know what anymore. I do not spend money on flyers. I do not, I don't knock on doors. I don't know what agents are really spending money on these days. I don't spend a whole lot outside of Facebook because I don't need to. All right. I've just, over the years, I have systematically eliminated the things that I did not see a direct return on, and when you limit it, and then you realize you got more money to market with targeted ads than you think you do. So you have to have a budget that you're willing to commit to when you're doing Facebook ads. Okay. So if you're going to do, spend $100, you can spend $100 a month, but spend $100 a month. If you're going to spend 300, spend 300. When I had an army of agents to feed, I spent $1,000 a month on Facebook. But let me tell you what, we had the leads. Okay. You got to be able to do it right though. You can't just click on generic ad creation and expect to attract your avatar. Okay. All right. So I've gone off that Facebook rabbit hole. I'm sorry. I love Facebook. I've been doing it since 2011, and I'm telling you, it's all you really need. But if you want to level up and do more power to you. Really, more power to you. I love to see people grow their businesses. Absolutely. Okay. And I love to help you grow them. All right. Can you share multiple groups at once? Yes, when you post to your business page, when you post something to your business page, you can share it, if you own the groups, absolutely. You'll be sharing it to more than, I think Facebook lets you share up to 3 groups, the one post when you create it on your business page. Is that what you're talking about? But yeah, I shared it. Like, for example, we were doing a yard sale and a free pick at our listing. We're trying to clean it out and get it out. So I shared that event. I created a yard sale event on my business page. I created a free pick event on my, now it's free, right? We sold it for 3 weeks and 3 events, and then now it's free. So I created a new free pick event on my business page. Okay. But yeah, you can share events into groups. Are they spending all their money on getting leads? They are spending all their money on getting leads. Yeah, you're spending money, if you're spending money on Zillow, for example, or all that, you can do so much better just crafting your own marketing consistently on Facebook than you ever get on those platforms. I used to absolutely spend money on Zillow. I built my business on a platform called flhud.com in the beginning. It was great leads, that was before Facebook even. And I've done Zillow, I've done Trulia, I've done homes.com, done them all. When I realized I can do the same thing and drive traffic to my own website and build my brand, not just pay for one and done leads, hopefully you're not just doing one and done, because you have to nurture that pipeline, right? Okay. All right. Any questions? Yes. Thank you. Okay. Yep. And I like the preview of homes idea. Yeah. When I post on my business page, it's not allowing to share onto my personal profile. How can I share on my personal profile? Your business page post should be public. Now, when you post, if you are under Facebook's new page experience, where they make you toggle between your business page and your personal page in the upper right hand corner, if you've got that, okay, you're functioning. If you're making that post on your business page as your business page, you're functioning as your business page. So it's not going to let your business page share to your personal page. You've got to toggle out of that business page profile up in the top into your personal profile, go back to your business page as your personal self, go to that post, and then share the public post to your personal page. Okay, that's what's happening there. Okay, so I hope that helps. All right, that was that question. Okay. All right, so let me know again if you got more questions. Absolutely. Okay, I'm sure that's what's happening to you though. All right, so check that out. So what else is, you have to decide what else is in, going back to the marketing SOP, we're going down the list, on our Google sheet, and you're just you are listing everything that you are going to do. Okay. And, whatever that may be. I'll be honest with you. I am short and sweet in my listing presentations. I mean, I don't come in with a presentation book or a laptop or anything. I come in with a few pieces of paper, my comps and my agreement. Okay. And that's all. Right. But if you ask me, and I'll always show this on my phone, because I think this is the future of real estate. We're all concerned about how are we going to show our value in the future with this technology. The value that a realtor is going to bring to the table for the consumer is your audience. Okay. Your audience is the value that you are going to bring to the table with today's technology. So if you can sit there and you can show your audience, I've got an agent that works with me that has 29,000 likes on her business page. I have another agent that works with me, Amber, is so excited. She has 20,000 people on her email list. That is her audience. That's what she brings to the table, right? That's going to be the future of your value in real estate. Aside from your knowledge, yes, your knowledge, blah, 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 all of that. They expect you to have knowledge if you've got a license, all right? What they're looking for is what else that you're going to bring to the table. Why are we going to pay you a lot of money, right? That's the question at hand, isn't it? Why are we paying you a lot of money? You're paying me a lot of money to expose your house to the market beyond the MLS. So that's my pitch every time. I show them my audiences. I show them my housing groups. I show them my business page. I show them the marketing ads that I do. And I guarantee that they will be advertised with a paid targeted ad every minute that they are not pending. Okay. And that's the commitment that I make to that budget to expose that listing. All right. So that's what you put on the table. I mean, that's what you bring to the table. You got to start thinking of yourself as an influencer, because that's what you are. All right. I can show them my video view audience in my targeted ad, 50,000 video view ads. Okay. I can show them that. You can too, if you build it. Right. But that's the future of real estate. If you want to ask me, that's what you got to bring to the table, is your audience. Okay. Team Davis of Florida. Good. I got, let me put this up here. Paradigm doing. This is a great video you're doing. Good. Thank you. All right. Let me know if you've got anything else you want to unpack. But as far as making SOPs, honestly, you gotta list it. You got to list it and put it right on down the list. Okay. And then if you've got a process for it, if you've got a process for it, like for example, I use a program. It's called continuityprograms.com. That's on my list. When I close out a buyer, I purchase a continuity program for them. That's a 5-year, 42 touch, one and done system for like $55. It's done. Although they stay in my system anyway, but that's just a little extra personal touch. It's all branded that comes to them. So these are things, that you decide all the way down the line what you're going to do. As far as marketing the home, that's one thing. Boom, boom, boom. Exposure, exposure, exposure. What are you going to do? Open house, whatever it is, you can't just rely on manual posting though to your personal page. You just don't. Even 5,000 friends is just not a big enough audience. Okay. You got to be able to show more than just 5,000 friends on your page, to be able to make an impact. And you should really be able to confidently explain to them the power of Facebook and the marketing that you would be doing with that, or something, whatever you're doing. If you're going to do Instagram or Google, I don't know what, I don't know what's more visual than Facebook, I mean, you look at the statistics of how many people are on Facebook these days, and I don't know, my new phone, I upgraded my phone here, and now I get this stupid notification once a week that tells me how many hours I've spent on Facebook. I didn't have that before, but it's making me conscious of it now, and I think to myself, wow, I'm pretty average. I think to myself, probably above average on time I spend on there because I'm here for business as well. But even still, you look at that phone, you look at that news feed probably 11 times a day, if you want to be honest with yourself, right? Okay. All right. Okay. So anything else you've got? The same process that goes through. Okay. So when you break down, especially when you're working for a VA, the next process, this is a new listing. This is what happens when the listing goes under contract. Boom, it goes pending. It goes this, it goes that, it goes this. You've got this. Just make your list and your process on the Google Sheet first. Okay. And then you can begin the category and library building of the video technical work. Okay. But just make the videos technical and have the skeleton as well. Okay. As far as SOPs are concerned, it's not that hard. But this is the thing. If you're an independent brokerage, okay, and you've got this, if you document this, painstakingly document your business throughout the course of your business, and you've got that, that's what you sell. That's the business. If you hope to be able to build and sell a business, that's what you're selling. You're selling your SOP structures and layout. That is your proprietary way of doing business. And you are selling your database. So it stands to reason that your CRM, your website, your brand, all of that, you can't skimp on those tools. You have to have that really polished, because that's what you're going to sell in the future. Okay, so it's worth focusing on those items because once they're done, you're good. You're duplicatable, right? If your business can be duplicatable, then you can leverage it many different directions, right? And when it's ready to be sold, it's all right there. Okay. So I want you to think about these things if you're an independent brokerage, and I want you to think about this, or even if you're an agent that you hope to have your own brokerage someday. Even as an agent, you should have your SOPs laying out right now, because when you get your broker license, then you're done. Your business is already laid out, and it will be easy for you to leverage up. You are a small business. You don't have to be a broker or brokerage to have SOPs or to have your business organized or to have it branded or have it ready to be duplicated or duplicatable. Okay. So those are some things I want you to think about. I want you to think about the next 20 years, unless you're already 60 like me, right? But 20 years, this is 23 years in the business for me, and it's like a blink of an eye. It has been like a blink of an eye, honestly. And it's been a fun ride. So I hope that you all have fun in your businesses too, because there are so many directions you can take this. Okay. All right. Let me know if there's anything I can help you with. I've babbled enough. It's time. It's 11:30. I'll let you go. Okay. Feel free to PM me, private message me, direct message. Is it PM or DM? I'm always confused about that. Tell me, is it PM or DM? Because I'm really always a little apprehensive about putting that in there in a comment, because I don't know what is customary. I see DM, I see PM, private message, direct message, same thing, right? I shouldn't be self-conscious of that, right? The things we tell ourselves. All right, talk to you later. Bye-bye.